Action activate. Let's rock it. Here we come. There they go. People rise, 'cause they know we're super soldiers. We got cool clothes. You're real smooth. You see our pose. Tension. Energize. Let's go. Time to ride. Combine. Grease ties.
Welcome! I am Gazbot. This is Action Activate. And with me, as always,
is I, the big dog Punisher, ready
the
to
Big Dog Punisher.
get those reviews the justice they need.
So we are here today. We generally review Power Ranger things officially or whatever, but we have been doing a series. Well, we do Indie Toku as well, and this is sort of in the middle of official Power Rangers and Indie Toku. I keep wanting to call it the expanded universe, but that's not what they're calling it.
Yes, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. Then I'm right that I want to call it that. This is Bloodlines of the Grid, Episode 1, put out by Nerdbot Studios. Now, some of the other stuff had been Crimson Vision or a co-production, but as far as I know, this is strictly Nerdbot, right?
Yeah, so Crimson Vision is under Nerdbot. The main difference is even though Colin Bass is involved in this from a writing perspective and from a production perspective, he is not attached. This is DJ Rivers and Christopher Kamen Lee. DJ
Yes.
Rivers directed it, but both of them co-wrote it, co-produced it, everything else. So this is kind of their baby in the expanded universe.
See that Sean Swanson did like some second unit directing stuff. So again, crossover between these teams.
Yep.
It's interesting. The opening of this one was Christopher Kamen Lee when I had met him at Ranger Stop a couple years back. Did an interview with him, which is on the channel you can find. One of the things I talked to him about was because he had been writing a comic that I was asking about, like an indie comic, and I was like, "Hey, they're doing the Power Rangers comic. Would you be interested in writing for that or for the show or And you could. I haven't watched it. You can go watch his exact answer, but it was something along the lines of like, not really, because they wouldn't let me do what I wanted. I'd want to do like this darker take, and they probably wouldn't let me do it. Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, whatever, it's been 2 years, and he's working on this, and clearly this is the darker take he wanted. So it's kind of funny that I'm like, "Would you do it?" He's like, "They never let me do it." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to do it anyway."
Yeah. No, and to kind of that point in time that you spoke to him, if I remember correctly, it was a thing of like, the only reason I'd come back or do it is I want to make this like super gnarly and do it the way I want. And to his credit, he did that. I mean, right out of the gates, you have the beginning about kind of a little brief background / recap of what the grid is. David Fielding, Zordon's voice.
I was going to say, I realized it was him right away. Did you?
I thought, and then I confirmed when I looked at the credits.
I love this title credit sequence here too.
Yeah, I like kind of that beehive kind of motif.
Yeah. Oh, almost like because it's a hexagon. I don't know if that's on purpose, but
okay.
I like the music. I also the special effects, almost without exception, I thought were very good.
They were.
The establishing shots. Oh, there's a commercial for Disney. Do you want to have Disney?
I have.
I thought
I just watched Book of Boba Fett last night. Did you?
Yeah, I spoilers. I really enjoyed that episode of The Mandalorian. It was great.
Yeah, same.
Let's not get into that because that'll take over this show. But
I figured while we were literally during a commercial break. So when I was watching this, it was funny that I noticed. Yeah, I don't think Gaz is going to be as mad about what's going on. Other cool thing is they're on Triforia.
Yes, the production from beginning to end. I have one nitpick only. Like as far as I loved the music, the locations were great, the special effects were great. Just from like a technical standpoint, this might be the best one we've seen. I'm not saying story or concept or anything, but just from a technical, everything seemed to be good. Like there was no sound issues. Like I only have one gripe, which I'll tell you about when I get there.
I think another thing too is this one's a little bit shorter than the other, so because it's so tight, it doesn't give itself the opportunity to waver at all.
I agree, and also it's smaller in scope.
Yep.
It's only a couple characters in this, and half of the battle was finding these locations and stuff. But yeah, more good special effects of this little Wheatley looking guy. I like how Andros is introduced similar to the first time he was introduced, where like you don't really see him, you kind of guess who he's going to be.
He's all cloaked up.
Yeah. Did you notice before the conversation starts, he's okay, there's a picture of him, like what I guess we looked at like right before us. I might have missed it already. Oh, there it is. The Zeo crystals.
Yeah, which is why I think they're on Triforia.
Right. Well, he says TK later says like, "Oh, did you find that?" TK's like, "No, if there was a fragment here, it's gone. I think they're onto us." Blah, blah, blah. So like they're clearly looking for Zeo crystals. It also makes me wonder. All of these productions are good at bringing in past actors. I mean, this one's partially helmed by a past actor. The triplets, I can't remember the name, that played the Trey of Triforia, have recently gotten back into the convention scene and they've been around a lot. I could see them, showing up for some reason. And
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I was looking, I didn't realize how long ago this came out. This was 10 months old. Yeah. So with the way things went, who knows what's able to be filmed and, whatever. The trailer for the new one just came out, which we'll talk about at the end of this. So also, so again, all the effects are just top notch. And then Zane comes in and I love this hologram effect. I'm really happy with all the effects in this.
Did you also get vibes of Skeets from Booster Gold with the little thing?
No. Now that you said that, I get that. But having played Portal, it made me think of
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
But I get Skeets as well. But even just the shape of it has a very Portal looking, like this could be the guy from Portal 3. Not that it's a copy, but it has that aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
So Zane comes in and they're talking and they have the sort of like, "What are you doing, buddy?" And like I like that they have this, it sets it up that it's like, he has broken from his old ties, but nobody really knows why. And if you notice, he's like, "Or should I call you Red Raider?"
Yeah.
And I had to back that up. So like, did he say Ranger or Raider? And he's like, "Oh no, it was Raider."
Yeah. One thing that I noticed tonally is everything up to this scene is all like feels like classic Power Rangers. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like, it brought me back to In Space and things like that. And then right after this scene ends is when I'm like, this is now Christopher Kamen Lee's Bloodline of the Grid. Like this is like, here's your In Space. You got Zordon at the beginning. You got the two Rangers,
right here, where he becomes
right after that, it was when I'm like, and then it switches.
I was thinking it right here because A, looking what he looks like, B, hearing what he had said. And he's also talked about how he was like In Space was basically Star Wars and he had like a lot of, and so, and it's funny too, because we were talking recently in something else about how they barely used his telekinesis in Space. It was used like a little bit in the beginning. And here it's like, oh, he's not using Ranger powers or Ecliptor power or whatever. He's telekinetic and he's like, and he's wearing the black gloves. And it gives Sith vibes. It gives like Anakin before he completely turns to the dark side or whatever, so maybe, at the end when they talk about like, oh, we don't want to let Zane know, and they kind of hint that maybe he is good. Maybe he's like, for lack of in Star Wars terms, like a gray Jedi, like I'm using the dark side for the right reasons kind of situation.
Yeah.
But so that's not the part you're talking about. You're talking about
right here, once he crushes this and it goes, and then he's like, all right, TK, like, let's roll. That's when I'm like, okay, tonal shift in a good way.
Shows up here.
Good effect. Good teleport effect, too.
All of the effects are very good. And they do a good job of making them distinct. He gets his little theme song here, too. I forget what it is, but like, he's got a little theme. Yeah, I got a lot good to say about this. And you're right, it is unfair. It's kind of like when people compare Firefly to like Star Trek. It's like, oh, Firefly's so much better. It's like, well, yeah, they had like 12 episodes and like, like of course, but it is true. This smaller story, distilled, short length. It's
so the thing to unpack here is so far we knew he was telekinetic. That's fine.
Yes.
We see the pendant, which is the same symbol as Dark Spectre, and the staff that his sister had, and then he's got the Ecliptor on his face.
Right.
Okay, but like you said, he hasn't gone full blown evil. We just see he doesn't get along with the powers that be like somebody else I know. So
and he's working with TK, who seems to be an In Space Ranger or a Turbo Ranger. Like he's not like an evil sidekick. If anything, he's like, oh, I see what you're doing here, like for the greater good. Like we don't know the story, but clearly he's not just like, oh, I gotta kill everybody, get out of my, And he says to Zane he doesn't want to kill him, which you wonder if he even really would, or if it was just to like get him out of the way, because how he says. Like,
I don't know. Like I feel like if push came to shove, he actually would, depending on what their mission is.
We'll
And like
see.
he clearly doesn't want to, but like we've seen, especially at the beginning and the end of in space, where like at the beginning he was gruff, didn't want to work with anybody, no holds barred. At the end, literally had to destroy Zordon, and then after that, it's
Right.
like, you know what, I'm hardened. I'm a
Yeah.
hardened individual.
Yeah, I guess that's true. This is the one nitpick I have on the technical side. I forgot I passed it. Okay, you know what the 180 rule is?
No.
It basically in film or comic books or whatever, you don't want to move if you're rotating around two people or whatever. You don't want to go too far because then it gets confusing and whatever. And they hard break the 180 rule here. Now you can break it sometimes for reasons or whatever, but this was just like, so Andros is on screen right, TK's on screen left. Here comes the reveal, and then all of a sudden they flipped.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
TK's on the other side. And I was like, wait, did I miss something? Because everything else was so correct that I'm like,
I
and
see
then I
what
thought,
you're
well, maybe
saying,
there's gonna, yeah. So it just, that was the only technical flaw I saw, but it was weird because it's such like a beginner mistake with everything. So I'm wondering if it's a thing where they didn't have the footage, like they filmed on different days and somebody messed up and they were on the like they didn't get on the same marks, and I'm like, well, what are we gonna? But then they could have flipped it.
No, so to your point, I think, because look right here at the shadows.
Mhm.
Like I think the shadows going that way, and then when you look at it another way, like you could tell by the location of the sun, like that it's very different. So they probably
Look,
tried to cheat it that way.
look at the background on the right. Hold on, can you see that right there?
Yeah.
That little formation with the shadow right there is behind him.
Mhm.
And that's this right here, isn't it?
Yeah, but going before they do the breaking the 180 rule, I'm curious where. Yeah, see, shadows are very different.
Yeah, I think, but again, yeah, I feel like the more likely mistake was that they filmed the wrong stuff and didn't have the footage to put it together the way we wanted to, because any editor would know not to do that. But they could have just flipped it digitally because
Oh, I
these
see what you're saying.
backgrounds are so generic. It's not like there's a building that says 7-Eleven or something, you know what I mean? So it's just odd. Like I said, everything is so flawless that it seemed even weirder to me that this was the thing that got messed up. But what are you gonna do? So they have their little talk. He's like, maybe you should tell Zane. And then that's whenever then the next people show up again with their own different effect.
Yeah.
And this confused me for a second because we've been like kind of watching these out of order now. And so when Colin Bass showed up, I was like, well, he's the Omega Ranger, right? But then I remembered, oh, but there are two versions because there's one in Shattered. Which version is this? And then and then I remembered this is like the future version of the main version.
Yeah. So the other thing too is that when they give the designator in a bit, that's how you can tell who's who.
Yes, because they call him because she obviously had the Omega Morpher too, but his was red, and as we had seen, I think it was in Shattered Past, where like the red hand comes out, but it had then so we had said, oh, he's like a red Omega somehow in the future, and TK calls him Baby Omega later. So this is like, oh, this is like their timeline Omega that he is with Nova.
Oh, I think I know what he is now that I'm thinking about it. I think he's Deca Master.
Is that from Sentai?
No, I've seen like fan art of it. I don't know the full history other than what it looks like and what it's called, but it's like essentially how there's Doggy Kruger, there's like a different level above it that's like red.
Okay. I mean, that might make sense too then, because he still seems to have the Omega powers and he has the Doggy Kruger sword. But whatever he is, he's further along in his timeline and his power set than the Time Bros version.
Yeah.
That we know
So one thing I want to note, do you notice something very specific about this fight that we've never had in both the expanded universe, at least that I can think of, and most Power Rangers?
The Psycho Lightning coming from Andros?
No, even further back, like the start of it, the first like 20 seconds.
But there's no talking. They just start fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that.
It reminded me of Empire Strikes. I keep talking about Star Wars, but I guess in space, where they open the door and Han Solo just starts shooting at Darth Vader. Like that's what it reminded me of. Like, oh, we all know why we're here. Time to fight. Yeah, you're right.
I love that.
Yeah.
The other thing is I keep saying this for all of them. Like I got like that cool like goosebumpy anime fight moment where I'm like, oh man, so cool.
I also like how TK's out here like knocking the blast away, and he's like tough and strong and knocking him back. but then you see Andros in the back, and it's that thing of like, oh, clearly Andros is the stronger one. Like, just because he's like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm not really worried yet, like
Yeah.
let TK handle this light stuff, but now I'm gonna go.
And we say it all the time. I love when they use morphed weapons unmorphed.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite.
And then he's able to disperse that, and he's like, "Oh, that's pretty good." Like they commented that it's pretty powerful. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like this fight in general. And then that's a cool pose. Yeah, you can see his morpher is an Omega morpher, but like red, basically. And then he calls up the dark like spiral saber, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could fix this. And it looks better seeing it in motion than in the still shots, but the Ecliptor eye just seems like it's not lined up quite right. Do you notice that, or is that just me?
You notice it more. I let it be.
I feel like it's because it's at the angle that Ecliptor would have it, so it's like not wrong. It's like correct. And again, watching it in action didn't bother me nearly as much. When I saw a lot of the promo pictures, I'm like, just make it a little bigger or turn it or cheat it or something. It works better in motion, but yeah.
And he love the Deca's back, and now he's got it on like his own.
Yes.
So wait, go back to that. I didn't read this. Modes. I guess
I think to me that was like they took a piece of 80s or 90s technology the way they would have during that time frame. That's how I took it. I thought that was very authentic.
Same.
He calls him up, and she's Nova, which we saw at the end of SPD in that one episode, like from the future. So that's kind of cool. And you actually see their forms for a second, because then they morph. And I'll try to freeze frame it. It doesn't go fully, but you definitely see he's red.
Yeah, so keep going a little bit. Oh, I think he's just a Red Ranger.
It does look just regular red, but it's hard to tell because it doesn't come all the way. But it does look like it's just red. But again, that could change when we see the actual morph. That might just be...
it could be a thing where they just use stills for that part, and they're like, we don't have the suit yet, just live with it.
Yeah.
No one should be watching this frame by frame. What kind of idiots would be doing that?
And so then we have a scene transition. And we hear Ecliptor in Andros's head, which I liked. So it's like, okay, so he's taking this power, but he's fighting it a little bit. And once again, it worked fine. Like the way the voice, it was very clear. It was him arguing with Ecliptor in his head. It just worked that way.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you can't handle this power. He's like, it's not your power. It's mine.
Yeah. Let me get past this.
Force lightning. Again, like so many of these things I want as Lightning Collection figures.
I think unfortunately it's going to be customization only for all of these, unless something drastic happens.
Yeah, you're right. Customization only.
Yeah.
Right here, we got a building that needs to be broken into.
That's a cool looking building. Again, locations. Good job with the locations, and they may be enhancing some of it with CGI, but like just fun locations, And then we got these sort of Tusken Raider-esque bad guys.
Yeah, which we kind of saw that vibe though in parts of In Space when he would go to like weird cantinas and stuff. So I appreciate that.
Oh no, I'm down for it. And they have the old trope of like the one guy is just like, hey, what's going on? Whoop, gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who this was going to be. Did you? Even though I knew this.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
I kind of forgot because they've also Nerdbot / Crimson Vision throws all their guest stars all over social media all the time, and they show them in other things. So like when I was watching this, I knew this actor. Well, we're gonna see it's Patrick David. I knew Patrick David was involved, but it's like, oh, at what point would he show up, and what season would like? So I didn't know that this was like the moment in this episode where we'd see him. But it was cool when he came out and he's like, I'm just gonna run right at the blaster. That's fine. And he does a really good job, even with like the physical acting and the physical like stunt work, whatever we're gonna call it. And clearly, he's looking for the rest of the cards. Oh,
so let's take a look at these cards.
That. I did not notice that until I paused. Operation Overdrive. So I know you're excited.
Operation Overdrive is my favorite season.
I'm waiting for you to play the clip.
And what are the other two? It looks like
I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be Lightspeed, or if it's.
I think so. They look like this one here with the V. Is that Jetman, or I feel like it's a
maybe it's Lost Galaxy.
Oh wait, the V wasn't that on the Lightspeed cruiser?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's either
Okay.
If you know for sure, let us know in the comments. But
And then
it
the
could be
circle,
Sentai.
the circle's Zeo, right?
No, the circle is
No?
not Zeo. I thought the circle was like Time Force.
Wow, we're bad at this. I guess not all of them have like obvious logos like that. Like Operation Overdrive is like super obvious. The
So
others, yeah.
what we'll do after this is look up like all Sentai logos, and then we could just look really quick because there's only what 70 of them or 50 of them or something.
Just tell us in the comments. One of you guys.
So he straight up. I want to make a note. He murders that guy.
Oh yeah, he cracks it. Well, he's Psycho Red. I mean, he's not. You know.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
As of now, he's working with who we assume is Andros. So
Right.
him being on that team is where
Yeah.
I think a lot of this tension is coming.
And is this person that he just killed? Are they a person, or are they just some kind of robot or monster or like putty type thing? We don't know.
It seemed like he snapped a neck, so I have a feeling it was an organism.
but it still could be some kind of golem that you don't have to, like feel bad, but we don't know.
So, but right before this, pause.
Yeah.
He asked specifically, like, "Hey, I need to use grid energy," and it's like, no, like I'm asking because I think I'm really going to need it. I'm not an idiot. I know we're trying to not use it to like bring attention and stuff. And he's like, "All right, cool. Morph's right here. Love this morph."
Me too. I like that it's not just like morphin times or because I was trying to remember like in space, did we saw their civilian forms? Did we see them morph, or was it off screen, or was it just like a flash? It wasn't.
Might have just been a flash.
Yeah, but I do like how it's sort of like an evil energy like seeping out of him. Like that's cool.
Breaks that. Love this part.
And then he says something about they're the Red Raiders.
Oh, long live the Red Raider.
Long live the Red Raiders. So that's what they called Andros. So is like, oh, are the two of them the well? And actually, TK's red too. So it's not that Andros is the Red Raider. They're all the Red Raiders, maybe.
No. I think he is the Red Raider, and I think they all work on the same team.
Then why was Zane saying, "Oh, or should I call you the Red Raider"?
Because I think Andros is specifically the Red Raider, and right here, Psycho Red is saying, "Long live the Red Raider."
Right. No, he said the Red Raiders, didn't he?
No, I think if you go back and close caption, it's singular.
It won't let me do closed caption.
Oh, interesting. Well, I think it's singular.
Oh, wait, no, wait, it is. It is. It didn't let me on another one. Okay. To the red. Is it not going to show us? Music, applause, glory to the red.
I think it's Red Raider. I think it's singular. Nope. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Glory to the red. And so then I'll let the credits roll as we chat. But yeah, like I said, I liked just about everything about it. I mean, I have no real nitpicks. I'm surprised how excited I am about this series, considering the huge scope of some of the other series. But no, it's definitely, I definitely like it.
This gives me a feeling of like Power Rangers X-Force.
A Power Rangers what?
X-Force.
Yes, I can see that for sure. Absolutely. Once we get done with the credits here, let's watch the trailer.
Yes.
The teaser trailer for episode 2, which I have not watched. I was waiting.
I might have, but it's been so long. Like, I definitely need a refresher. Yeah, Sean Swanson was DOP.
Second unit DOP.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's the cast of everybody.
See, the Red Raider.
Yeah, no, he's the Red Raider. So you think Psycho Red is saying "Long live the Red Raider"?
Yes.
But they're all red, so they could be the Red Raiders.
I think that is. I understand why you're saying that. I think it's just like TK is following him because he's Andros, and Psycho Red is following him because he's part Ecliptor / like Dark Spectre energy vibes.
Maybe. Let me get this off here. But yeah, surprisingly enjoyable. Not that I thought it'd be bad, but just I don't know, just because it was like smaller stakes than the other series that we've been watching, I just didn't.
Oh, I just thought of something.
What?
Similar to what you're saying of like people who go to conventions a lot. Maybe the Overdrive thing was in there for Mercury.
Oh, Dwayne Cameron. Yeah. Dwayne Cameron.
Hey guys, this is Dwayne Cameron, and this is a shout out to Action Activate.
Dwayne Cameron. I just didn't have that. If I play this, can you hear the sound? Hold on.
I heard him say Dwayne Cameron.
Do you hear sound here? music?
Vaguely.
Well, because I was going to play it so we could react.
No, I'm aware.
Okay.
I'll make do.
All right. So hopefully, hopefully we don't get a copyright strike for playing the trailer of their thing. I've had issues with this before, not with these guys, but I have one copyright strike right now, so we'll take a chance.
Yep.
All right. TK running.
Good drone footage.
Fire. Wood. Oh, more
There
Psycho.
it is.
That ship looks cool. You think that's
Nice.
Psycho Red ship?
Probably.
Oh, that's probably Andro's ship, isn't it?
That's probably. Those are from SPD.
They're not cogs. They're
I
something
think those
else.
are Crybots.
Crybots. There you go. So far, like interesting shots, but nothing. No plot stuff is.
But this is the thing. I love that we just see cool stuff, and it's like, come and find out.
I
Not gonna tell
agree,
you
but I
everything.
want one moment. I guess the Crybots is like the reveal of whatever.
And the ship.
The ship, yeah. Good point. The ship. The line of the grid. Is there actually... Oh, no, it's broken. Okay. First thing I thought there was blood.
Who knows more about the grid than Grid Battlefield?
Oh! Wow.
All right.
That was the moment. Remember, Steve, did you know that?
I knew that he was involved, but I forgot until right now.
Wow. Yeah, me too.
So,
Wow.
okay. So I think he's just, he's making a team of Red Rangers.
Red Raiders. But,
We'll see.
But you're assuming he's on Andros's side. He could be teaming up with Zane. Like, hey, we got these 3 rogue Red Rangers. Hey, who knows more about Red Rangers than the grid than Grid Battlefield?
So here's the only thing I ask of this, and I know it's already in production. So
Yeah.
I really hope he's still the Red, but he is also the commander.
You're talking about Rory.
Yes.
When we at the end of Beast Morphers, he was in command, but he had like the commander suit on, didn't he?
Yeah, but
So he
you
might
don't
not
wear that
be-
24/7.
I guess it depends on their command structure, because SPD Doggy could still go out into the field, but you didn't get the impression in Grid Battle Force that Commander Shaw was going out into the field very often.
Well, did she have a morpher?
Who knows? She could have. Oh no, because of the DNA mixing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess with the DNA mixing, he would always be a Ranger. Yeah, we'll see.
So the more I'm looking into this, or theorizing, I guess, the more it's like, what is one of the coolest episodes of Power Rangers? Forever Red. What would be even cooler than that? Dark Forever Red.
True. Could they get that many Ranger Well, I guess it would be Ranger actors and or new actors playing Red, because TK is a Red.
TK's new.
Yeah.
So right now we've seen 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
5 if you include Colin.
True, but he wouldn't be on their team theoretically. But who knows? Yeah, later on he finds out. Oh, he has to. Yeah.
So we have 5 there, and then I'm trying to think of
they announced another actor recently, but he wasn't a Red.
I'm trying to think of who we kind of the convention thing again of like who we know that's Red. Austin St. John.
Rocky. What's his real name?
Oh, Steve Cardenas.
Steve Cardenas. Yeah. Although I think he moved to England recently, so he might not.
Yeah,
be
but this probably got filmed a while ago, maybe. And he comes back for convention, so like
Jason David Frank wouldn't, because he's doing his own thing with.
He's too
White
in
Dragon.
like Power Rangers. Power Rangers.
He's what?
He's too.
Well, he's in real Power Rangers. Well, real Power. He's in official Power Rangers, but he's also doing Legend of the White Dragon. So I doubt he's going to do another side thing. Who else is a Red Ranger that shows up at convention?
Selwyn Ward.
Yeah, but they already have TK as a Red Ranger using Turbo and in space, so that's why I thought I feel like we'll see. I don't know. My brain's a little fuzzy today, to be honest. I'm not thinking as clearly about Red Rangers as I should.
I don't think it said when it's coming out, but I'm excited when it does.
Agreed. So I think we're actually all caught up on the Nerdbot Crimson Vision stuff. We've reviewed everything up to present day.
We did the Shattered Past 5 trailer, right? Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't do the trailer, but I mean,
we watched it, I believe.
Oh, did we?
No,
We're
I think
caught up on episodes that are out. I'm not worried about trailers. We may or may not talk about that, but and so next week we're gonna do back to Dino Fury, and then the week after we'll be back on Indie Toku. There were a few things that were floating around. Did we land on what we're gonna do? Was it Neon Lights or was it something else?
I know that Neon Lights has a lot coming out, so that one's probably best to jump into.
All right.
We can talk offline on how we want to do that, but that one I know we said we were gonna review, so I want to take a look
Okay.
at that. And then
Well, so
outside-
next week Dino Fury, the week after Indie Toku, probably Neon Lights, but if not, some other neon.
I saw a teaser last night on their Instagram for Immortal Red Fox for Wushu Mantis. So I don't
Mhm.
know if that's having something come out soon or a new episode of Immortal Red Fox, but like if that comes out, we can look at that as well.
Yeah. So depending on if they're short, we could do more than one in an episode. We've done that too. But next week, Dino Fury. The week after, more Indie Toku something. Until then, I have been Gazbot.
Still Big Dog Punisher.
Oh, here. And to the
Power.
I forgot to say end credits. I'm really off today.
That's okay. We're recording on a different weekday than we normally do. So
Yeah, we're recording on Friday in the afternoon, which is the wrong day and the wrong time for both of us.
yeah, we're both still mid responsibility.
Yeah, I'm just thrilled we were able to get it done this week.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, we were supposed to do it Tuesday, and then I couldn't do it, and then Big Dog couldn't do it Thursday, and blah, blah, and we thought we weren't going to be able to do one this week. But we were able to pull it out
for
in the
all
middle
of
the
you,
day today.
we did it.
Yeah, so
Good
this,
job.
I'm going to try to put it up today, so it'll be up either Friday or Saturday. Anyway, good go. Bye-bye.